Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for purchasing a PortaAir or considering purchasing PortaAir. Currently, we'll be available at Home Depot and also through private dealer networks within the United States. I want to start off by saying that these are the tools that we're going to need to install a frame or a jamb. Tape measure, pencil, drill bits of various sizes, a knife, scissors, a drill. Obviously, we have the various sizes of drill bits. We're going to need a T20 and a Phillips head, a hammer, a level, and then a miter saw for cutting the trim boards for your final installation. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start working on the jamb. Start getting everything prepared, getting ready to install. First off, let's cover it real quick. Make sure you got your rough opening. We have a wooden frame construction. We're going to do a 32-inch door, so this is a 34-inch opening. It's 82 inches high, so make sure you verify your rough opening because the door and frame is designed for a 34-inch rough opening. So now, briefly going to touch on the universal trim, the universal jamb. What I'm going to show you right now, one of the first steps you want to do is you want to see what position or what door swing position you want to install. Because this door is universal. You don't have to flip the door, you don't have to do anything. It is designed to, all you got to do is install your jamb in a particular spot. Let me show you. So if we go over here and we want to go ahead and line this up, make sure we have everything level, make sure your stud's level, and then this is our hangers or our hinges. It's a hidden hinge. So what we'll do is that we're going to insert that just like that. I'll describe how to do everything here shortly. Right now we're going to determine what swing position. So if the jamb is sitting right here, the door is going to open this way. If I take this jamb and put it here, the door is going to open this way. Now here's the beautiful part. I can take this jamb, flip it around, put it here. Now your door is going to open this way, or I'm going to put it over here. Now your door is going to open this way. 4 points. That's the beautiful part about this jamb. And then we're going to start working on it here in a minute, and I'm going to show you all the parts. And how do you determine a swing that on your current door? Well, we basically tell you go to your door frame. If your hinge is right here, and if it opens this way, that's a right turn, or that's a right swing. This will be a left swing. So that's how you're going to determine the swing position. However, again, I want to emphasize the point with the universal trim, you really don't have to worry about that. It's basically taken care of for you. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get everything ready. This is an important part. Don't forget this, because if you skip this step and you put everything together, you're going to have to take everything apart to basically attach your trim pieces. Why do I say that? Because these trim pieces are designed to go on your final installation, basically cover up those gaps between the wood stud, sheetrock, and the frame to make it all nice, clean look. It has basically a groove cut out here that this piece, obviously this is the top piece, but this will be attached like so. And then it's going to go onto the trim when you're done for that professional, that beautiful, elegant look. So that's what this will end up looking like on the wall. However, we need to install these. These are very important. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to install one. There's a package. You have a package of nails and these clips. There's enough to put 4 on each of the vertical trims and 4, which is 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 4 on this side, 4 on this side. So you'll put 8 here. And then I've already put these on. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on right here to show you it's grooved out. So you basically snap it into here. Get your hammer. Now it's on. Go ahead and put your second nail in there and do that to all of them. And then we will be ready to go ahead and start working on this to get it mounted. So now we're gonna start working on the trim. What I like to do, or what I recommend that you guys do, is you take the trim, you put it back to back like sits like this. We're going to do a few things. First thing, take your knife or take your scissors. Go over here. Your trim is going to be a little bit longer than the actual board. So then go ahead and put your trim in, line it up, and go ahead and cut it flush. So this is flush on all four sides, or all four corners. So once that is done, we're going to go start getting this thing ready. Now, you're going to get several baggies of screws. And basically one bag's going to be for this side, one bag's going to be for that side. And there's going to be several screws. There's going to be some T20, Phillips, and everything else. We're going to be using some of these screws. So, 4 of the screws in there, like these, we're not going to use because we've included these screws, and I'm going to tell you why. So, all right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and peel this rubber seal back a little bit. You're going to peel it back to about right there. Do the same thing on this side to make it even, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take a drill. We're going to use a little bit bigger drill bit, but this is the size of your screw, so you want to go ahead and get a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than that, because all we're doing is pre-drilling this, because ultimately we're going to screw that screw through here onto the wood framing. So you just simply pick a point, but when you pick your point here, try to do it this side and this side at the same level so it matches when you see that little tiny bit of that screw head once it's installed. So try to get it close to this wall here, but not all the way, because this will sit just like this. If you get it too close, then you're not going to be able to do that, and you could cause damage. There's a little wall right there. So you just go ahead and drill that. Okay, now we're done with that. Clean it off, and then we'll use this here in a minute. Now, while we're got the drill out, we're going to go ahead and pre-drill our screw holes for the hinge. You get 2 of them. They are also marked. You have a door side, and then you have the jam side. These are pretty sturdy hinges. They have about a 60 kilogram, about 120 pound weight capacity on each hinge. So these are pretty strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to place these inside here. Same thing on this side. And we're going to get a smaller bit so we can install the T20 screws. Now, if you pay attention, this hinge has a little play in it. And what we want to do is we want to center it right just in the center, so you have a little gap here and a little gap there, because we want to put that pre-drilled hole right in the center, so when you put the screws in, you'll be able to maneuver it and do your final adjustments. So we'll go in here and go ahead and just pre-drill. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. Again, remember, don't put it on one side or the other side. You need to do it right in the center so it has ability to play. And then you'll go ahead and do the same, and then we'll be good. Then you'll go ahead and remove the hinge for now, because we're going to show you how to install it once we're going to be mounting the door. There's 2 options of doing it. One, you can go ahead and attach your hinge now, put it up there now, put everything together, mount it, but then you're going to have to get some help mounting the door, because then you have to physically pick up the door and insert it into the hinge. This way, what I'm about to show you is we're going to go ahead and install the hinge onto the door and then mount onto the frame. Way easier, but we'll get to that when we get there. So now, what we're going to do now is set those aside. We're going to make some room, and now we're going to put this universal jam together. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our Phillips head. Remember, we have these screws that come with it that they were intended for this trim. However, we changed them recently, and these work a whole lot better. That's why they're included in your packages. So we're going to go ahead and put the trim together now. It's preferably to start on one side only, because you have these clips. And if you set it on this thing tilts and you may not hit the pre-drilled holes, because there are pre-drilled holes in this jamb in whatever position you want to put it. So now, we're gonna put that together. I'm putting it right on the edge of the table, putting this together right there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start. All right, now it's this other side. Again, we're going to want to slide that frame over a little bit. It's going to tilt a little. Okay, we got it put together. So I got the 4 screws here. We have our clips, and then we're ready to go. So what we're going to do, we got to double check, making sure everything matches. Yep. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to pick up this door jamb and then carry it over like so. Now, I'm gonna briefly show you guys. This thing stands up on its own. This is HDF. So the construction of the thing is pretty solid. In another video, I mentioned that typically is designed to go inside a door jamb on a masonry construction and then just use adhesive foam all the way around, and it's done. No need to do the drilling. However, in the USA, we're not accustomed to that, and then we're doing this on a wood frame construction, so the installation is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to set. Okay. All right. We're going to get our level, and then we're also going to get it. We're going to get a little bigger drill bit. We're going to go ahead and get this thing leveled up, which that's level. We're going to check this level. We're good. And then typically what you want to do is you want to go ahead and move this forward a little bit with your foot. It's level. What I'm doing here is I am putting that right on the edge, so that basically it's smooth from the sheetrock to the edge of this, because that's where your trim board's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill that. Okay, so I got my drill, I got my screws. Make sure everything's with you, because you want to do this in a smooth, one-time, quick fashion. Because if it's just one person installing it, which typically, you know, some people get some help. You can use a helper if you need to, especially when lifting the door and stuff. But in this stage, typically one person does it. You want to do it as a smooth operation. Do this, then automatically put your screw in so it doesn't move on you. So, always double check your level. We're good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this ready. We're going to pre-drill. Okay, and you go ahead and sink your screw right by flush, a little bit lower than that, because what's going to happen is that when we put this seal back in, you see a very little bit of that nail head. So that's the best way to do it. And now we're going to do the bottom. Just like so. So we're going to go ahead and mount this door. I go ahead and took it out of the package. And remember, we were there's a video that we're going to include in this video. You should see a little clip of it, that you'll see that I mentioned how to unpack the door, and also to save all the styrofoam pieces, because we're going to need them. And the reason why is because when I mounted this and made sure that this is good, I only attached it to these 2 points. This is still free, but it's fine. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the door or the frame. We're going to use this styrofoam to place in the back here, because you have about a 1/4 inch space between the back of the frame and your stud. Now we'll do that final deal and adjustments once the door is on. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the hinges on the door, pick up the door, and then mount it onto the frame. So what we do is we take our hinge, verify how your hinge is placed when you have it in this position, because you want to make sure that, okay, if I stand this door up like this, that hinge goes in, see, there's the door. That's incorrect. So we want to make sure that when we mount this, that we mount it just as your door is, because then you install your hinge and then it's all backwards. So we double check. And then if we were to take this door off like this, it goes in just like that, okay? So we got this one over here, the same thing. We're gonna take this and flip it. And again, I'm re-emphasizing those 4 points of installation. All you do is this with the hinge, and you have a right and left swing, or depending what position you have. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our drill. This is very, very important. This is a solid core door. It's pretty much solid. It has a high HDF bordering, but this is a solid core door. The door weighs about 35, 40 pounds. So what we wanna do is we wanna put this here. There is no adjustment on the door. The adjustment goes on the frame. So we're gonna go over here and we are going to pre-drill. You're gonna feel a little resistance. Keep going. You're going through the solid wood. Okay, and same thing on this side. Then we go out, we'll clean all that off. Now, the screws, what we're gonna use is we're gonna use these screws, the same screws I told you not to use for the frame. We're gonna use these to mount the hinge to the door. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screw in. Like so. Like so. That one's on. I'm gonna put the other one on and then we'll be ready to install that door. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the door up. The hinges are mounted, we're ready to go. Now, when you pick these doors up, be very careful. Remember, they're not light, so you want to use your legs and lift it properly. So we're gonna get down right here, we're gonna grab the door and we're gonna walk it up. Now we got it up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move here so the camera can catch the installation. I'm gonna put the gasket back in, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna mount the door. I'm gonna walk around to the other side. You're gonna have to kung fu grip it, and it's in. Now we have the door in. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and change out our bits. Now, don't close the door before you put these screws in, because it's gonna fall out. Just leave it as is. It's self-weights. It's self-holding. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these T20s, and we're gonna go ahead and install them or insert them into the pre-drilled holes, but do not go all the way in. Stop a little bit shy so you could have the ability to maneuver that door. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these and we'll adjust it. We are now going to go ahead and do a positioning of the hinges. Because right now, the hinge is on the lower part of the adjustment. Remember how we pre-drilled these holes specifically so we have an adjustment. Right now, it's sitting on the bottom. If we close the door, it scratches the floor. So what we want to do is want to lightly lift like so we can adjust the door. What I typically do is just use a screwdriver. You will lift the door and it sits. Now, if the camera comes in and looks, we're on the top end of the adjustment. It's on top because the gap's here. The gap was there before. So what I'm just going to do is screw that in. And okay. Now we're done. The door has been mounted. We're gonna basically make adjustments here. We'll make these adjustments and we'll finish up. Basically, when we install this, remember I left this loose. We got that mounted, we got that secured. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and secure this. So we want to make sure and find out exactly what the distance is. Right now, it's about right. So in the packaging, remember we want to save these. We want to use these as our spacers. Or you could use wood shims. You could go get wood shims, but this is a very convenient way to basically do the final spacing. All we're doing is putting a styrofoam down at the bottom where we put the bottom screw in, so the styrofoam will hold to where when the screw gets set, we're good. It's going to tighten up, and same thing with the top. So the spacing is about 2 pieces. And then we'll just take our screws, line this up, that's in. Same thing here. We're going to line this up. Make sure that is flush. And go ahead and check the door. Close it. Our spacing is just right. And then you can just fill it in, and also remember with our trim pieces, essentially trim pieces will go on like this with these clips, like so. I'm going to do a separate video of how to do this, how you can cut angles, you can make them straight, however you like. That is your preference. These are long enough to where you can make those cuts. However, they'll snap in, and essentially we'll do the finish work. However, it's your preference how you want it. You want it like this, you want it like that. That is going to be a customer preference. The last thing I'm going to touch on is I'm going to take these off so we don't damage them. Last thing I'm going to touch on is one of the coolest features. Okay, so on another video, I'm going to show you how to put the handle, the little turn knob for this particular door. I don't want to cover the same video, so it'll be a separate video on that. But this is the knob that basically goes with this door. It's going to be pretty nice. However, I wanted to show in this video a cool feature that is pretty much one of the key features to this universal frame. So the door open and closes like normal. Remember, we can move the hinges. You can put the door in any position you want. You don't have to flip the door. You don't have to do anything. Because what about if we take this door and we move it? Okay. Well, this thing is going to be the trick. You take a tape measure with the magnet, apply it, pull that off. Don't drop it. Then we take a screwdriver. You go right over here. There's a little slot You'll see a little slot right there. You pull this slot, you turn that, and now it's a reverse. Well, it can't close now, so we just take it, flip it back around, put that back in, and now we have an operating door.